Sure we're all good. Right, there we go. Right, well, it's, I don't know what time it is. I've lost track of time, David. What is the time anyway? It's got to be about 1 o'clock, isn't it? Live stream. Anyway, so, right, we're back with you. Someone inadvertently called just as we were about to go on live stream there. So what time was it again?
12:20.
It's 12:20. So it's 12:20 and we're sitting outside a pub just behind Westminster Magistrates Court after David Noakes' first extradition hearing. And David is, there we go. Yeah, that's a much better looking picture on screen now. There you go. That's the problem with doing live streams in the middle of the day. People sort of think I'm available and try and call me. Anyway, you had fantastic support at the court today. The public gallery was absolutely rammed. And on numerous occasions, the judge actually had to ask the public gallery to refrain from applause or shouting out. In fact, I must confess that she was actually quite tolerant because other judges would have cleared the public gallery at the first outburst. But when you arrived in the court, Seaman Staines, who is the barrister representing the MHRA, offered to shake your hand.
Well, I refused because he's put the innocent Linda Thayer in a prison in France. So as a CPS, Crown Prosecution Service prosecutor, his only interest is convictions. He doesn't care whether they are innocent or guilty, he just wants convictions. So he needs to be disbarred as a lawyer because he needs to be interested in justice, and in fact the whole Crown Prosecution Service needs to be dissolved because it no longer serves the public. It is only interested in prosecutions at any price, and it does not care that many that they lock up are completely...
But it's a bit of a contradiction in terms, isn't it, really? Because there is no justice within the British legal system. In fact, justice is something that shouldn't actually be mentioned in the same sentence or even paragraph as the British legal system. And unfortunately, I mean, you didn't stay, rightly, to hear what Seaman Staines had to say. But I mean, how somebody can literally perjure themselves, and of course, the thing is, a barrister has immunity against perjury. They can say what the hell they like in presenting the case.
Yeah. So, I mean, Benjamin Seifert, who is the CPS prosecutor, has...
Oh, it's not Seaman Staines?
No, it's very close. You got it very close, but no, it is actually Benjamin Seifert. And he has no compunction whatsoever about putting an innocent British woman, a scientist, Linda Thayer, into a French prison. So I refused to speak to him. I did tell him that he's satanic, and he had no remorse at all for what he'd done. And so I was told afterwards by supporters that actually that is because he is a sociopath. And so actually he is a sociopath, satanic person.
Well, sadly, to actually work in that profession, by definition, you have to be a sociopath because, otherwise you would have empathy, and you cannot have empathy whilst working in that profession.
Well, not in the Crown Prosecution Service. You cannot have empathy. You must avoid the truth, and you must convict.
So you took the initiative here, and the judge's name was Judge...
Which you did tell me. I don't know.
Yeah, I must confess I walked out without getting a name. But I mean, obviously at this juncture, I mean, let's lay it out here. At this juncture, she hasn't made a ruling. She's going to make the ruling next Thursday morning.
Yeah, but we know what the ruling's going to be.
We pretty much know what the ruling
exactly.
is.
The very fact that she didn't dismiss the case. And of course, Judge John-Luc Godard committed fraud, perjury, and false witness, which should have got him a 5-year jail sentence, just to get the European arrest warrant. And it should be intensely embarrassing to the French to have a senior judge who is lying on international arrest warrants and lying under oath. So Judge Jean-Luc Godard should be serving a 5-year sentence for false witness. I don't know what the crime for perjury is in France, but he should probably be serving a 10-year criminal sentence, and yet he is a senior judge in France.
Well, unfortunately, that's probably a prerequisite
Probably
to hold that position.
Yeah.
But you gave an excellent dissertation, and at this juncture, I'll give her the credit that she, did listen, and although you didn't hear it, she actually asked Seaford to respond on some of the points that you had made, and in particular, she asked him to respond on the issue of the Magna Carta. So if you explain what you presented, I'll then explain what the response was.
Okay, well, the whole European arrest warrant is completely illegal under British law. Under Magna Carta, Section 38, you have to have evidence to arrest anyone. And the European arrest warrant says specifically that no evidence is required. Well, of course, that's completely illegal. So people saying, well, Magna Carta's been impliedly repealed. No, it hasn't. The judges in the Metric Martyrs case specifically said constitutional law cannot be implied repealed. It is here forever. Magna Carta is with us forever. Section 38 is with us forever. That means you cannot be arrested without evidence. And of course, Judge Jean-Luc Godard, because he committed perjury, fraud, and false witness, has no evidence for his 9 imaginations. Linda Thayer and I did nothing in France. We are completely innocent, and yet under the illegal European arrest warrant, she's already in prison in France. She's been on hunger strike for 3 months. They've driven her almost to death the last time. It took her 10 weeks to recover, and will they kill her by Christmas? Quite probably. And it will be Benjamin Seifert, the Westminster Crown Court and its corruption that have killed her.
Blood on their hands, indeed.
They have innocent blood on their hands if she is to die, and it may well happen by Christmas, and that is why I asked for them to bring her back to England before it is too late.
And of course, her response was that she had no jurisdiction over that. The only case before her was the application for your extradition.
I don't care. I mean, the fact is, the Westminster Magistrates Court has committed an injustice. They've approved perjury, false witness, and fraud. They're proud of it. They're backing it up. They're backing Benjamin Seifert up. The judges and the Crown Prosecution Services are working closely together against the British people, and they're causing deaths. They couldn't care less.
Now, she then, after you had left the court, she then asked Seifert to respond accordingly regarding the Magna Carta, and he tried to dodge it by saying, well, he wasn't sure what point you were trying to make when it came down to Magna Carta and the Metric Martyrs. But he then basically just waffled and tried to quote previous rulings where basically the judges had effectively ridden roughshod over Magna Carta, which doesn't, so what he was trying to claim was there's precedence for this dismissal of Magna Carta, which of course doesn't make it lawful in any way, shape or form. And in fact, we should be very, very concerned at the ease with which the judiciary and the parliamentarians seem to be prepared to literally dismiss Magna Carta as something that's 800 years old.
It was disgusting that the MPs passed the evil Edward Heath's, Prime Minister Edward Heath's, law about jurisdiction. I mean, the European arrest warrant is totally illegal under British constitutional law and the Magna Carta, and still our stupid MPs voted for it.
This is unbelievable, isn't it? But most of the time, they don't know what the hell they're voting for anyway.
It's quite
They are
right.
simply division meat. Instructed as to what to do. And I mean, the vast majority of MPs don't have an opinion on very much that is beyond what is presented to them in the briefing papers that come from the Whip's office.
But it doesn't matter. The very fact that the MPs voted illegally still leaves Magna Carta standing proud.
Absolutely.
And it always will do, and there's nothing can overrule it, fortunately, because Parliament didn't open until 80 years after Magna Carta was started, so Parliament can't repeal it, and of course it's the constitutional law and is not subject to repeal. It's with us forever.
So what we're going to find out next Thursday at Westminster Magistrates Court is whether the judge does have any capability and capacity for independent thought and independent ruling. At this stage of the game, I would say that we wouldn't be putting too much money on that, or whether she's simply going to deliver what is quite probably a pre-prepared judgment, which you have already told her, and I think understandably you told her that as far as you were concerned, the ruling was pretty much already set, and that you would appeal.
Yeah, we know that she's either already had the telephone call from Senior Freemasonry, or over the next week she will get the call from Senior Freemasonry, and the law in the case is totally irrelevant. Judges don't obey the law even slightly anymore, and she will rule that I shall go to France, and that is why we're appealing now, long before the ruling comes out, because we know what the result is in advance.
Okay, so now without giving too much away, I mean, there's a few things that can happen between now and next Thursday, so it may well be that next Thursday doesn't even happen.
That's what we plan.
That's what we hope. Well, David, and have you had any contact with Lynn at all recently?
Well, the evil Judge Goddard illegally denied her all contact with the outside world, but someone's probably had a word with him, and it's now re-established. Letters are going backwards and forwards again. So I hope she gets a couple from lawyers, because there are a couple of French lawyers who want to represent her.
So people should write to Lynn.
Oh yeah, please write to Lynn. Do you know the address? Hello.
Excuse me, we're in the process of...
So it's Linda Thayer, 452710, Fleury Mérogis Prison, 91705, Saint Geneviève de Bois, France. Oh, I forgot 9 Ave de Peuplier, 9 Avenue des Peupliers as well. So she'd be delighted to receive your letters, and if she can, she will reply, because she replies to all of them. If she's allowed to, she will definitely reply.
Excellent. Was that your...
My lawyer.
Yes, I thought so. Yeah.
So we just saw Benjamin Seisfer, the prosecuting attorney from Crown Prosecution Service, whose only interest in life is convictions. He's not interested in innocence. And of course that's not the job of the Crown Prosecution Service. The Crown Prosecution Service is supposed to represent us, the people. But he convicts the innocent, doesn't care a damn. And actually the whole Crown Prosecution Service is like that. All it wants is convictions. It doesn't care a damn about innocence. So the Crown Prosecution Service should be abolished. It's no longer of any use to us. But he was in the cafe opposite us. I did tell him that he was a satanic psychopath, because I didn't realise he was a psychopath. So I just had to tell him that in the restaurant. And he then called the police, and the police threw him out of the restaurant because he was causing too much trouble.
So there is some natural justice.
I was amazed.
It seems.
To get even a tiny bit of justice is just so stunning. Yeah.
All good. Well, okay, David. Well, look, I I know that everybody wishes you well, and obviously Lynn is in people's hearts and thoughts. You delivered an outstanding presentation, AV 10.1, on Sunday, which is currently up on the pay-per-view channel on alternativeview.co.uk. But we're looking to get that up on YouTube to make it freely available as quickly as we possibly can.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I won't be with you if you do have to go back into Westminster Crown Court, Westminster Magistrates Court rather, next Thursday. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. Hopefully what you have planned in the meantime comes to fruition. But if you are required to go back into Westminster Magistrates Court next Thursday, then I would ask that people go along and support as much as possible. We'll get the word out one way or another, but we'll get the people to come along and support. And obviously, when you've got a public gallery, the judges know they are being scrutinised.
Yes.
If there's nobody there, then basically they can get away and they do get away with the proverbial blue murder.
Yeah.
But when you've got a public gallery, and like I said, I think she was quite tolerant, actually.
Yes, she was.
So let's see what transpires between now and next Thursday. But let's just fingers crossed that natural law prevails, and that true justice is seen to be done, and that sooner rather than later, Lynn's back in this country, and hopefully you guys are one way or another producing GC-MAF and curing people from cancer once again.
Exactly, and I did say that I require that Lynn is brought back to England while she is still alive, before this court has innocent blood on its hands. Well, they don't care.
And yes, somebody's just suggested that we pin the address where Lynn can be written to beneath this video, and we will definitely do that. It will be a bit later on today, but yes, we will indeed do that. So David, thanks for...
Thank you, Ian. Thank you very much.
I'd like to say it's my pleasure, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
I'll be with you through to the bitter end.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend.
Cheers.
Okay, well, that's it for this impromptu live stream. As I have said, I am taking a break from the morning live streams, but there will be the occasional random live streams from wherever it is that I might be. And then, all things being equal, I'll get back onto the regular live streams back in the spring. But meanwhile, of course, I think there's something going on in this country, isn't there, over the next few weeks?
Oh, I haven't heard about it.
No, the election or something like that? No.
Don't think so.
No, we'll see what happens anyway. Well, I'm going to sit back and watch the pantomime unfold. But my bet is that we're sitting on a hung parliament in December.
Yes.
And if Nigel Farage and the Brexit Party put candidates up to split the vote that would have otherwise gone to the Tories, that would gift Parliament to a Remain coalition. So I think that if we see the Brexit Party putting candidates up in all constituencies right across the country, then that will be prima facie evidence that Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson are closet Remainers, because they both are astute enough to know that what they are doing is gifting Parliament to a Remain coalition. So we'll see how this unfolds.
Can I just say that I have bumped into Nigel Farage twice at his conferences. I gave him the Free Linda Thayer leaflet, and he was completely disinterested. And I always thought a lot of Nigel Farage in the past, but now I think he's so concentrated on his career, he doesn't give a damn about an innocent English woman incarcerated in a French prison, the worst prisons in Europe.
Sad, but no great surprise,
Yeah.
I regret to say.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it from us. We're going to, I think, probably have another fruit juice.
Yes.
And, well, have a great weekend, and we'll catch up soon. Take care now.
Cheers.